How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, welcome to today's stream. Today is Sunday, which means that it's time for me to continue my playthrough of True Colors: A Date with Deception. Part 11. This is my 11th stream for this game, as crazy as it is to believe. We just started the third and final route last week, the Brianna route. I guess today we see how Idiot Skull figures out how to screw this up. Why do I get the feeling that this one's going to hurt a lot more than the other two did? Don't get me wrong, I was crushed by what Idiot Skull did to Ash and Malik, but there's something about Brianna. She seems just a little more, like, perky and happy and, cheerful, and it feels like it's going to hurt a lot more when, well, you guys will see what happens. Let's go ahead and hop into it. So, I believe, yep, we were here. The beginning of this scene here. Tap, 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 click. Another email sent.
Yo!
Hey, Skull! I look up, spying Sean leaning across the desk toward me.
Oh, hey.
Do you have the figures for Monday's invoice processing? For some reason, I can't find them on the system. I search through my own computer, but come up short. No, sorry, buddy.
Really?
Okay. I know someone compiled them all together, but I don't know where they've gone. Evening, Dim. I'll ask around.
All right.
Yeah, ditto. He tramples off toward Lydia's desk, and I start firing the same question at the people closest to me. I can't see anything like that on my system. Sorry, Skull. It's okay, no worries. Sean's now questioning Ash about it, so I turn to the only other person who hasn't been asked yet. Where is it shiny? What? I don't understand. I don't understand that question. You're up for another shiny ditto. Oh, where Sean said ditto. Got it. Hey, Brianna.
Yeah?
Yeah? We seem to have lost the total figures from Monday's invoices. You don't know where they ended up, do you? Oh, yes! I think I made a copy when I was taking notes. Let me look. She hunches inquisitively over her computer screen, like a detective scouring security footage for clues. After a moment, she smiles victoriously, springing up and dashing out of the room. I guess she found the figures. I watch her back as she disappears, brightening the office with her colorful dress as she goes. It's been a few days. A true colorful dress, am I right? It's been a few days since our last meetup at the shelter. My mind is still playing that day on loop, filling me with a warm, fuzzy feeling. Before long, Brianna comes bobbing back into the room, brandishing a sheet of paper with a smile.
There!
Here you go. Printed them out for you. Oh, thanks a lot.
Hey, it's fine.
No problem. Here you go, Sean. I wave the paper around in the air. He crosses the room, taking it from me with a look of pleasant surprise.
Sweet!
Oh, great! Where were they? Brianna had them.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, nice job, Blondie! He goes silent for a moment as he scans the figures, so I turn back to Brianna. I love how there are way more experienced people in the office, and yet you were the only person who thought to make an extra copy. Great superiors you have, huh? We both grin. To be honest, taking notes of everything just in case is exactly what Brianna would do. I shouldn't be surprised.
Don't worry.
Don't be silly. Besides, I'm here to help, right? You certainly helped this time. Well, I'm at your service anytime. Just say the word. We chuckle quietly, but Sean's head snaps upward.
Huh?
At your service. You've got her well trained, Skull. He smirks and I wave my hand dismissively.
Right.
No, it's not just today. He swivels to face Lydia.
Huh?
Didn't Skull mention being tired the other day and Brianna instantly ran and brought more coffee?
You know it.
Oh yeah, and then you complained about her giving Skull special treatment because she didn't make you any. She grins, and Sean whips back around to face me.
Wow.
See? She's totally playing favorites. You two must have something going on behind the scenes. He winks at me suggestively, and then turns to Brianna as though trying to provoke her into admitting something.
Right.
Huh? How about it? Is there a new secret office romance blossoming behind our backs?
Oh?
Oh, that'll be why I couldn't find either of them at the start of lunchtime yesterday. They must have been making out in the supply closet. The pair of them start giggling mischievously, causing Ash and Malik to laugh too. Obviously, Brianna and I have not been making out in the supply closet. Or anywhere else for that matter. However, due to the way I've been feeling about her since Saturday, I'm kinda struggling to not blush at the thought. I look over at Brianna. To my surprise, she's also slightly pink in the face, struggling to respond. It didn't go unnoticed.
Ooh.
Go on, Brianna. Tell us the truth. Everyone gawking at us is starting to get a bit much, even though they're probably only joking. I'm about to try to defuse the situation, but Brianna beats me to it.
Knock it off.
Oh, that's a new one. I have yet to see that. Hi, Borealis. Hey, you came just in time for me to look at this brand new image of Brianna. I have never seen her look like that. Okay. Oh, shut up, you guys. This causes the whole office to burst into loud laughter, and I feel my cheeks start to fizzle.
Uh-huh.
Ho-ho! She didn't deny it. Get back to your figures, drama queen. There's another round of giggles, and after one last grin, Sean returns to his desk. Ah, she looks so shy. Poor girl. Honestly. Everyone else gets the message too, calming down and going back to whatever they were doing before. Glad that we're no longer the center of attention, I glance back at Brianna. She still seems embarrassed, but when she notices me looking, she shoots me a giddy Brianna-ish laugh before heading back to her desk. So she's not offended by the idea of us being more than friends, even if it only came from teasing? The more I think about what Sean has said, the more I wonder whether he's right about one thing. Brianna hasn't exactly been totally favoring me like he joked, but there have been a few moments to that effect. Embarrassed Brianna, yep. Well, rather embarrassed Brianna than angry Brianna. If we saw Ash angry like Ash was angry in the one bad ending we got with Ash, I hate to see what angry Brianna would look like. I would probably like cower in real life. It's always the quiet ones you need to watch out for. She's also turned leaving the office with me into a daily habit, not just that last one time last Friday. I even said something mildly flirting the other day just to see how she'd take it, and she didn't shy away from it. Maybe she is thinking about me that way. I hope so. I like her a lot. I kinda want to ask her out, but I'm still not sure if it's too early. Perhaps I should wait for one more genuinely solid sign that she'd be open to do it first. Yeah, I'll do that. Work done for the day, I'm flipping through the TV channels looking for something to spend my evening on. Game show, not really my thing. Crime drama, maybe. Documentary. Hi, Andrea. I'm about to change the channel again when I find myself pausing. A blonde lady appears on the screen, laughing about something that happened at work. Her hair and peppy voice remind me slightly of Brianna. I feel my mouth twist into a smile, but then I shake my head. I've got to get her out of my mind. No, embrace it! Embrace her! Go to her idiot skull! I browse the channels for another minute, stewing in embarrassment, despite there being no one around to witness my Brianna-centric thoughts. Then a sound makes me jump. My phone. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? It's December, okay? Grabbing it from across the couch, I check the notification. Oh, it's Brianna. How funny of her to text me right as I'm thinking about her. It's almost like the script demanded it. I open the message, surprised by what I see. Hey, I was thinking, do you maybe want to go somewhere with me on our next day off? We could find something even more fun to do. Let me know. Something even more fun to do. Mwah! Good night, everybody. This has to mean something. Doesn't this seem like the sign I was looking for? She wants to spend more time with me away from everyone else and to do something more memorable than last time. This feels really promising. My chest buzzes, and I reply quickly, telling her that I'm totally down to make plans. Oh man, I hope this is the start of something good. The rest of the week had passed quickly enough. Now here I am, arriving at the spot I'd agreed to meet Brianna at for our second date. Meetup. Not a date. Yeesh, get it together, Skull. Love on the brain. I scan the area, but don't see her smiling face anywhere. I'd expected her to be waiting for me again like she had the first time. I don't mind getting here first though, so I entertain myself by reading the billboards decorating the buildings nearby as I wait. After a few minutes of learning about big sales and events I'll never go to, she still hasn't appeared. Fishing my phone out of my pocket, I drop her a text asking if everything's okay. It's not long before I get a response. Sorry, I'll be there in a minute. Maybe she's just running late. Shoving my phone away, I wait a little longer. Eventually, I spot her hurrying across the street toward me, looking very apologetic.
Hey.
In a really cute dress. Hey, Skull. I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not super late, am I? She looks flustered as she catches her breath. Not really. Only about 5 minutes. Maybe just over. Oh, that's still not cool, though. I'm really sorry. Hey, it's fine. Everyone's late sometimes. Don't worry about it. She nods, but as I gaze at her, I notice that she looks a bit drained. Her voice also isn't as energetic as it usually is. Looks like the kind of dress that Grandma would wear. It's pretty! It's very pretty. Are you okay? You look tired. Oh. She freezes slightly as though she's been caught in the middle of something.
It's okay.
I'm fine. I just had a bit of a rough night, so I overslept a little. I'm good to go, though. Brianna could wear anything and she'd still be a queen. Yes. I 100% agree. She makes a show of pulling herself together.
Yeah?
Are you ready? We're still going to the amusement park, right? The other night, we decided to step things up a bit and go somewhere exciting. After agreeing on an amusement park, my mind had been dizzily conjuring up images of Brianna clinging to my arm tightly as we rode on roller coasters. However, seeing how out of sorts she is today makes me hesitate. She might be putting on a brave face, but I could still tell that there's something not quite right. Are you sure you're okay? You seem a bit, I don't know. As it happens, I don't need to find any more words.
Actually...
Oh, and we get embarrassed Brianna in this dress too. It still looks good. No, you're right. A heavy sigh escapes her, and it's alarming how suddenly downcast she's become. I'm actually not feeling up to something as busy as an amusement park today after all. I'm really sorry if this ruins your day. No, don't say that. You haven't spoiled anything. She doesn't seem that convinced.
I just really...
I still really wanted to see you, but I'm just... She trails off, seeming unsure on how to word things. Well, if you still want to hang out, how about we go somewhere quieter? We could still find something nice to do that doesn't take much energy. Well, if you must know, Dim, I was about to say she would look great wearing nothing at all, but I decided not to because I thought it would be better. You satisfied? Now I had to say it. It is true, though. I don't want her to feel like she has to force herself to be lively for my sake.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Any ideas? Huh. What would Brianna appreciate right now? Something calm, easy, and maybe relating to something she likes. Oh, that might work. Oh, look at this. It's an aquarium. Ooh. So she's an introvert. Seems like I've made the right call. Brianna Rout exclusive scene. Excellent. This reminds me of the Seas Pavilion at Epcot. I am quite familiar with that because every time we go to Disney World, my wife goes scuba diving in the giant aquarium here. So, yeah. It's really cool to see your wife scuba diving in this giant aquarium with thousands of guests coming in and looking and not knowing who she is. Fun stuff. I know Brianna said she's not hugely passionate about animals, but she still likes them. I figured that an aquarium would be a peaceful place for us to relax undisturbed. Thankfully, I was right. It's not too busy in here today. We've been walking around the tanks for a little while now, admiring all kinds of fish, crabs, and other aquatic creatures. Brianna wanders over to the squid tank. She watches them glide silently, and I almost don't want to break the stillness by speaking. Oh, that's pretty cool. Note to self, go to Copenhagen. How was your trip, by the way? Embracing the quietness, I simply move to stand next to her. We gaze at the squid as they roam around. They look like they're swimming in slow motion. After a moment, Brianna catches my eye. I'm relieved to see a much more content look on her face.
Hey.
Hey, Skull. Thanks for bringing me here. It's actually really soothing watching the fish. There aren't many people around either. Ah, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. A secret trap door by the front door? Oh, like a piranha tank? Like some sort of a Bond villain? Yeah, we're lucky we came here on a quiet day. I'm glad you're feeling a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I appreciate you doing this. I know it's not as exciting as the theme park. Don't let her finish. Forget it. We can go there anytime. Let's keep it on the list for the future, yeah? Oh? Next time? She smiles, seeming almost relieved that I still want to keep spending time with her.
Ah, okay.
Sure. Maybe in a week or two? I'll hold you to that. We share a contented look, and I'm pleased that even on a crappy day, she still wants to make more plans with me. I don't know how this is going to end, but I feel like it's going to be all the more painful. There's something about this girl that is different from Malik and Ash that whatever we do at the end of this stream to her, it's going to physically pain me. Ah, man. The butterflies in my stomach flap a little stronger.
You know?
Last night... She grows thoughtful, debating something in her mind.
Actually...
Can we sit down for a minute? She nods toward a couple of benches in the middle of the room, and I agree. Maybe she wants to tell me what really happened. We take a seat, grateful for the distance between us and the other aquarium visitors. After a moment, she gathers herself and continues.
Well...
So, I actually contribute to more than one charity organization. There's the shelter, but I'm also part of an online mental health community. Well, not just part of it, I'm one of the admins. Wow, really? what would set this apart from the other two that makes it feel more true? That's very interesting. Is this game going to make me cry? Man, I'm tired of crying during visual novels. Cute girls getting hurt. Man. Don't do anything to her. Ugh. I have known this girl for 5 minutes, but if anything happened to her, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself. I got a bad feeling. I'm guessing this relates to whatever last night's issue was. So, you moderate the online discussions and help organize things?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm probably one of the highest tier of staff below the actual founders. I help them run things and talk on the server a lot, giving support and advice to the people who use it if I can. This precious honey bun. Impressive.
You know.
Love that you inadvertently saved it for last. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I was kind of thinking, like, if Brianna ended up like Malik, then maybe I did the best first with Ash. Like, no offense to the Malik route, but I associated so much more with the Ash route, and I felt like my, like, Idiot Skull's relationship with Ash felt a lot more, rewarding, I guess. Ash was a lot more involved in the second half, so I liked the Ash route more. Plus, I liked Ash as a character more than Malik, just more interesting. But Brianna is like precious honey bun, and I don't know what the second half is going to be, but like this whole time I've just had this nagging feeling at the back of my head like this one's going to hurt a lot more, and hopefully that means that the ending is all the more rewarding when we get there. Yeah, inadvertently saving the best for last. Happens. We also have a directory of mental health organizations in various local areas, so people know where to go or who to call if they want more in-depth help. Wow, this is kind of intense, but in a really positive way.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a while, and I really enjoy being part of the team. Her face softens as she says this, and a little hint of pride shines through. That sounds amazing, Brianna. You really put yourself out there. I do my best, but last night was a tough one. She slips back into deep thought, and her smile slips with it. Kaden. Someone was having a bit of a meltdown, you know, mental health crisis. It happens every now and then. We kind of expect it, having so many people with those types of issues in one place. It got really dark at one point. She almost shudders a little as she recalls this. It makes me want to put my arm around her, but I hold myself back. I don't want to be too forward or interrupt this serious story.
Well,
we managed to cool things down eventually. It was such a relief when they thanked us and went to bed. But the whole thing kept me up much later than I thought it would. By the time I got to sleep myself, it was basically the middle of the night. I set my usual alarm, but... She twists her mouth in a self-depreciating smile.
no.
I totally didn't hear it. I think I only got about 4 hours of sleep in the end. And yet she came and met me nonetheless. You really didn't have to force yourself to come out with me after all that, you know. I'd have completely understood if you wanted to cancel. That's a lot for you to deal with. Not just the lack of sleep, but the whole thing must have been pretty exhausting, right? Mentally, I mean. She nods vigorously, as though that's an understatement.
Right?
Oh, 100%. I never not rush to someone's aid when they're in a crisis like that. But it does really take it out of you. I won't go into too much detail, but I've been in this exact same position that she's been in, and yeah, it is draining. I won't go into further detail, but I completely know what she means. I've been feeling quite vulnerable ever since. It takes a little while for that kind of thing to go away. I can imagine. It must be hard being a part of that community. Rewarding, but difficult. You said it. That's exactly what it's like. How often does this tend to happen? I only asked out of curiosity, but Brianna freezes for a second, making me wonder if I've somehow crossed a line. You mean people having a tough time on the server, or? Yeah, you feeling like this after an intense incident. I hope it doesn't bring you down a lot. Oh. She seems almost flustered for a moment, and I can't tell what's going on in her mind. However, she quickly squashes it, shaking her head.
It's okay.
It happens, but it's nothing to worry about. I can handle it. That was a bit more abrupt than I was expecting. I hope she's not trying to hide anything important. It doesn't happen to her, does it? That would hurt. That would hurt so much if that happened to her, too. Ugh, is this one going to make me cry? Well, that's good. I know this is none of my business, but I won't pry or anything. You know, Idiot School needs to take your advice, Dem. Hey, Borealis, between now and the next stream, do you think you could patch this game so that Idiot Skull goes to this group therapy session before he does something stupid? Can you do me a solid and just make this happen? My guess is no, but I figured it's worth asking anyway. I just hope you don't give too much away. You need to look after yourself too, not just everyone else. You're on it, okay? See, all you need to do is ask. The skull badge. I like the sound of that. I get that she's clearly a very nurturing person, but she deserves support just as much. I'm not lecturing you or anything. I just want you to be happy. Also, this music is so good. It's like soft and tender. It still fits with the aquarium thing too. Like I could totally imagine this song playing in an aquarium. This is a really, really touching song. No,
I get it.
You're right. I should always make sure I prioritize myself. Thanks, Skull. It's cool. As long as you're okay. She nods with a small smile, and I feel somewhat reassured.
Wow.
Anyway, enough about my issues. I'm sure this isn't what you had in mind for a date. I start to laugh, but it gets stuck in my throat as I realize what she said. A date? Brianna seems to notice at the exact same moment I do. Wait, I didn't mean date. That's not what this is, right? We're just hanging out. Her face turns crimson, and I feel my word, but maybe this was my chance? You wanted a sign, Idiot Skull? Here's your sign. Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea of this being a date if you're not. I grin to try and inject some lightheartedness into it. Oh man, I hope I haven't messed up. She pauses, gazing at me with slightly wider eyes.
Really?
What she said. Yeah. She stares a moment longer. Oh God, say something.
Aww.
Ah, she looks so happy. This game is going to make me cry. That's really nice to know, Skull. I guess, in that case, I kind of feel the same way. She's smiling. Her first proper smile since we met up today. Her brightness bowls me over and my insides start doing dances. We want the same thing. I try to minimize my joy as harshly as possible so that I don't look like a complete fool in front of her. I settle for what I hope is a natural smile. But, yeah, probably not the best date you've ever been on, huh? She laughs at herself, and I shake my head. Oh, don't worry, this is nothing. I'm not exactly incredible date material either. That can't be true. My heart skips a beat when she says this. No, I'm serious. I've not had the best luck with relationships in the past, unfortunately. Oh, so we're both romantic train wrecks then. She smirks and I play along. Definitely. I'm the worst candidate you could have picked. Should have been first clue right there.
No way!
No way! Go on, tell me. I bet it's not that bad. She looks at me playfully. If she really wants to know my dating history, I guess I don't mind telling her. I think I just haven't been with great people. Most of my relationships ended with them ditching me, and one of them. A fog of memories begins to fill my mind, and what I see within isn't nice. Taking a breath, I continue, filtering out everything except what I want her to hear. One of them cheated on me. It was such a shock when I found out.
I'm so sorry.
Oh God, that's horrible! I'm so sorry that happened to you. Yeah, it wasn't fun. This hurts. This hurts so much. No, it must have been awful. Her expression floods with sympathy and she clasps her hands over her chest. I can't say I know how it feels. I've never been cheated on. But I can only imagine how painful it was. And the main difference with Brianna is that compared to Ash and Malik, she actually, since she's an admin of a mental health thing, that has to mean she has at least a tiny shred of training to handle this kind of thing. Probably more than that. So she's going to know exactly what to say and how to say it. And that also means it's going to hurt her all the more. Because she knows what opening herself up to vulnerability will mean. Is this game going to make me cry? I nod slowly. Yeah, although to be honest, I'm not even sure that was the worst relationship. My last ex was someone I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. We were really in it for the long term. Well, I was, anyway. I was serious about her, but I guess she didn't see me the same way after all. Excuse me. My stomach clenches as I recall that. She ended up serving me the papers, and that was that. Single again. Lost everything I'd been planning for with her.
What?
Oh my God. Brianna breathes her sentence in airy disbelief, and her eyes become fixated on the empty ring finger on my left hand. Huh. Yeah, a divorce. I'm sure that's what's going through her mind right now. And I won't deny it.
That really sucks.
Oh, Skull, I don't know what to say. That's a terrible thing to have gone through. It's okay. Divorce seems to be the theme in my life anyway. My parents got one when I was about 10. Maybe they were preparing me for the future. I laugh darkly, seeing no point in getting angry about it. I'd rather just deflect it with humor. Brianna still looks upset on my behalf, though.
You know?
Honestly, Skull, you must be really strong to have bounced back after all that. I don't know about strong, but I guess I'm doing okay. I don't like to just throw in the towel, you know? I'm still hoping that there are good possibilities in my life. You never know what'll happen. It's true. I'm sure the right relationship is out there, and I'll find it someday.
You're really great.
Well, I really admire that about you, Skull. It takes a lot to be optimistic after going through things that hurtful. Yeah. The thing is, I'm pretty sure Protag believes all of this as well. That's what is the most... That's what hurts the most, is that, like, it's not even that they're lying about things. They really do think that they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Which makes them dangerous. You really are strong, and I
really like you.
I like that. She breaks into a smile, and it's not just a regular one. We gaze at each other with meaning behind our eyes. It warms me right up inside and out.
Thanks.
Thanks for being so open with me. I feel like most people struggle to talk about stuff like this. Lady, he's already shared it with 2 other people. Just saying. Yeah, it can be hard, but I feel comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Same with you. I feel like I can tell you things I don't necessarily tell other people. In fact, you totally distracted me from why I was down in the first place. I forgot about myself just now. I was only thinking about you. I feel myself blush. Then before I know it, something warm envelops my skin. That's the fish tank behind you. It's burst a leak. The warm water's coming in. You are now drowning. The end. He died. Probably deserved it. Yeah, exactly. That's part of why I feel like the Ash route worked better for me than the Malik route. The Malik route was well written, please don't get me wrong. I just prefer the Ash route because it felt like Ash saw that there was a genuine person underneath all of that who didn't quite believe all the lies and was trying to reach towards the protagonist and bring that person up to the surface, knowing that it would take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but that it was possible. It felt a lot more, I don't know how to describe it. It felt like Ash sort of recognized that and followed through with it. Way more forgiving than I could ever be. Yeah, Ash could see the human beyond all the terrible things that human did. Malik was more like Idiot Skull was like, what do I do to make myself better? And he's like, I don't know, this is what I did, and it just happened to work. Malik acted a lot more like how I feel I would act, frankly. Like, someone tried to kill me, I would just, interact with them the bare minimum and give, like, a bunch of dismissive non-answers. And the Malik one felt a lot more like how I would react if I were in that position. The Ash route felt a lot more rewarding as the player who is controlling the idiot. It's like Ash was actually able to see the humanity and bring it to the surface. Malik was a lot more like, you tried to kill me, why should I help you? And then it just happened to work out. That's how it worked for that. So, like, I'm dreading what's going to happen to poor Brianna. This is going to hurt. Because it can't be like the other two, so what's left? What's left is a lot of hurt and a lot of healing. She's holding my hand. Is this game gonna make me cry? I'm good.
Right?
Don't you feel like we grew a lot closer today? This is so... Yeah, I do. I'm glad you feel that way, even if today wasn't what we aimed for.
Hey, it's fine.
That doesn't matter. I'm just happy to be with you. She smiles again, and my whole body flushes hotly. My head is ablaze. The butterflies are swarming. This is it. I feel like she's the person I want to forget about all of those horrible memories with. I really genuinely like her. It seems a lot more likely now that she might feel the same way about me. I don't think today is the right time for me to act on it, considering she's been feeling vulnerable. So I bite my tongue for now. Instead, I squeeze her hand with affection and smile back at her, hoping that some of what's inside me will reach her. I'm happy to be with you too, Brianna. What are we going to do to her? I don't want to think about it. Part of me wants to just stop the game now and say, and then they lived happily ever after and nothing bad ever happened, but I know that's a lie. Forward march. The photocopier whirs as it spits out page after page. Malik and I hover around it, catching each other as it's ejected from the machine. Hey, and in this route we get more Malik and Ash, or at least more Malik, so there's that too. My hands act on autopilot, but my brain is a million miles away, zoning out as I stare off into space. After a moment, my vision is obscured by something, and I snap back to reality. Malik is waving his hand in front of my face.
Hey,
Earth to Skull! You in there? Sorry. I was on another planet for a second.
totally.
I'll say. Thinking about Brianna. What? No! I genuinely wasn't. But the suggestion makes me clam up in embarrassment. What were you thinking of then? Everyone still makes joking digs at our blossoming romance every now and then.
Seriously?
You sure? I glare at him, but all it does is make him laugh more. Okay, I get it. But still, you would make a cute couple. Just saying. Gee, thanks. He swipes the last page from the photocopier, and we both start heading back to our section. As we walk, I can't help but cave in and actually think about Brianna now that he's mentioned her. That day at the aquarium last week had felt quite special. She'd also made it seem like she might be open to a relationship with me. Feelings I'd put on hold back then, I wonder when I should reveal them. We arrive at our section and start handing out the photocopies. Here you go, Ash, the updated paperwork for tomorrow.
Thanks.
Oh, great, thanks. Seeing that Malik is already passing some to Lydia and Sean, I head over to Brianna's desk. One for you too.
Thanks.
Thanks, Skull. She reaches for it, but I guess I let go too quickly. It slips out of her fingers and flutters to the floor. Oh, sorry. Oops. We tried to grab it at the same time and just ended up basically holding hands. You know, holding hands causes pregnancy. The pair of us blushed slightly. Thanks to last week, it wouldn't be the first time that we've held hands, but before we can calmly brush it off.
Oh.
Did you see that? Skull totally just made a pass at Brianna!
Ooh.
There's a roaring chorus of ooh, and the room erupts into laughter. Well, that definitely made it awkward. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Are you okay, Brianna? Do you need a minute to recover? Shoots her his trademark mischievous grin. Instead of getting flustered, Brianna slaps him with a comeback I hadn't expected.
Hey, it's fine.
Oh, I don't mind. Skull is easily the most good-looking person in this office. Oh, that was a good one. That was good. Wow. That's the kind of comeback I think about when I'm in the shower contemplating an argument I had with someone in high school 13 years ago, you know? She thought of it on the spot. She's good. She turns to me and smiles cheekily, and the noise that follows is almost deafening.
That's crazy.
Wow, that is bold, Brianna. Get it! Everyone stares at me and Brianna, giggling and waiting to see what happens next. And I realize that I have two options here. Play it down, or give Brianna as good as she gave me. Considering how I feel about her, I think I know my choice. That's funny, Brianna. I'd say the same about you. I stride away toward my desk. Before I get there, I wink at her, making sure that everyone else can see.
Ooh.
She plays along, smirking in approval, and the whole office explodes. I swear the boss is going to come down and give us hell if we keep making this much commotion. Oh no, don't bring in the Temu Ozzy boss again. No, I don't want that. That's a punishment that no one should be subjected to. I sit down, feeling a little bashful despite my fearless display. Hi, Dim. We've definitely got tongues wagging now. There's a thought. Tuning back into the rowdy conversation, I hear that Sean is now throwing a fake tantrum on why he's no longer the sexiest person on the team. Taking the opportunity to disappear from the limelight, I slump down behind my computer screen and run things through in my head. Some of these are tongue twisters. Skull is easily the most good-looking person in this office. I know it's all fun and games, but somehow I don't think it was just a throwaway comment. When the teasing first started, she was much more bashful about it, shrugging it off quietly and refusing to rise to it. By this point, it's the opposite. She practically makes it worse with her suggestions, and today was the most daring one yet. If she's willing to basically flirt with me in front of the whole office, then I think I'm going to do this. I've been thinking about doing something for a while now. Something that'll really seal the deal and bring the two of us together in a much more powerful way. I don't know, Dim, it seems like a nice, well-rounded group to me. I think it's about time I acted on it. Yeah. Tonight, after work ends, I'll make it happen. By the time we all clock out and leave the building, my palms are starting to sweat with anticipation. I feel like a teenager again. As we all say goodbye to each other, I catch Brianna's eye, subtly hinting that I want to talk to her alone. She gets the message, casually putting distance between us and the rest of the gang. Hey, Brianna. So, today was really something, huh? I don't even need to clarify what I'm talking about. She gets it instantly.
Right?
Oh, I know. They love a scandal, don't they? She giggles softly, glancing over her shoulder at everyone before turning back to me.
Did you need something?
She said, "Right. Come on, Skull. Now or never." Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to get together again on Saturday.
Ah.
Oh, that'd be nice. I can make up for being so moody last time. I wave a hand dismissively to show that there's no need. Great. Although I was thinking... We joked about that being a date, but if you're up for it, maybe we could actually do that this time? Are we going to get a CG of Brianna and Idiot Skull on a roller coaster together? Or eating cotton candy? Or something? At the amusement park? She gasps ever so slightly when I say this.
Really?
A date? Are you actually asking me out? My cheeks burn. Yeah, if that's okay with you. I've heard that I'm the most good-looking person in the office after all. I add that last part playfully. She bursts into Brianna-ish laughter, her face turning slightly pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. Her voice grows more quiet as she continues, looking shy.
You know,
I wasn't just saying that for banter. I kinda meant it. Oh my god, my heart is doing somersaults. So, is that a yes? Yes, it's a yes. I'd love to. Jackpot! Step 1 complete. Great. Is there something you'd specifically like to do on a date? I kinda had something planned, but if you want...
no.
Oh no! Please surprise me. I did the same to you with the dog shelter. I'm more than happy to go on a mystery date. She claps her hands in excitement, and I almost want to fist pump the sky. This is going perfectly. Alright, then shall I text you later with the time and meeting place?
Nice.
Sounds great! I'm looking forward to it. We beam at each other, and then she steps backward.
Ah.
I gotta get going, but let me know, okay? Absolutely. See you later.
Bye.
What she said. She trots off into the distance, looking radiant. Now that I'm alone, I let out a big sigh, feeling a sense of euphoria begin to rise within me. She said yes. And now the stream of mind that I've been longing for, fantasizing about, can finally come true. Wallet, keys, ID card. I mentally tick off everything I need to take with me, checking that I'm definitely picked them up. Then I dash to the mirror, analyzing my clothes and giving my hair another quick brush. This is probably the most exciting Saturday I've had for a long time. I get to take Brianna out on a date, and I've crafted it as perfectly as possible. I spent ages researching something special to take her to see, something that'll resonate with her passions. I think I've hit the nail on the head. After that, I've got something even more memorable planned. Patting the pockets of my jeans, I make sure that I've got all the goodies that I bought for her yesterday safely stowed away for later. Heh, it's gonna be great. She definitely won't see this coming. Plus, tomorrow's Sunday, so it's not like we have to be sensible and cut the night short to make sure we're not tired at work. We can enjoy the whole evening together. You lay one finger on her hair, and I am going to kill you. Hope you understand that, you idiot skull. My insides fizz with anticipation as I start picturing all the amazing things that might happen. Then I force myself to snap out of it. Brianna will be meeting me in about 30 minutes. Satisfied that I have everything I need, I take a big, nervous breath and head out. Oh no, the dates themselves are actually they're solid. We took Ash to the theater for the date with them. We took Malik on a biking date, which Malik actually really loved. And I guess we'll see what we do with Brianna. So, yeah, idiocy aside, the dates themselves are actually pretty considerate. I think I got here too quickly out of excitement. Damn. I wait at our meeting spot and try not to jiggle impatiently. I'm sure Brianna won't be late again. After a minute or two, my suspicions are confirmed. I see her weaving through the crowd toward me with a smile on her face.
Hey, you.
Ah, she looks so pretty. Hey, Skull. Please don't tell me I'm late again. Not at all. I was the early one this time.
Ah.
Oh, good. I guess we're even then? Yeah, let's call it a draw. We share a grin, and I feel like I can sense some nerves on her part, too. Doesn't it feel kinda... Well, this is officially a date, so it's a bit weird, right? Knew it. I know how you feel, but it's a good weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I've been looking forward to this. Me too. We relaxed slightly, relieved that we're both still into the idea of dating. So, shall we head out?
Yeah.
Sure, lead the way. I have no idea what we're doing. Does that bother you?
Don't worry.
Not at all. I bet your surprise will be better than mine. I don't know. I mean, yours had puppies. She giggles, and I turn to face the direction we're heading. Ready? She nods enthusiastically, and we set off down the street. Arcade? Brianna's eyes widen when we enter the building I brought us to. There are game arcade cabinets lining the walls, and the lights give the room a sort of party atmosphere. Okay, now I'm curious. What is this? Well, since you love charitable organizations so much, I looked into what charity events were going on this weekend, and found this one. It's run by a mental health group. You might even know it. I start reeling off the information that I'd read online. They're raising money for their physical clinic, as well as spreading awareness. It looks like they do a lot of good work for people. Okay, I think this is the kind of thing that Ash was attracted to. Like, being able to see the actual good person underneath all this. This is exactly what Idiot Skull, what the protagonist would do. It's like actually going through all the effort of being considerate, being nice, figuring out, like, knowing the person's interest and trying to match them and going above and beyond. Like, it's not sociopathic behavior. That's actually something that you would do because you care about someone else. And this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. They've set this room up as a kind of gaming/carnival area. Entry to the event is free, but any money we spend on the games goes to the charity. Then later on, there's going to be an auction in the other room. I think local businesses have donated items for people to bid on, and all of that money helps out the charity too. Yeah, exactly. Gotta bury that bad side. 6 feet under. Ideally before we hurt someone, but I thought it might be your kind of thing. I finish my spiel, biting my lip in anticipation. I really hope she likes this. She glances around the room again and then turns to me with an appreciative look.
Nice.
Skull, this was a really nice idea. I love that you incorporated the charity stuff. You really didn't have to, you know. I would have been happy with dinner and a movie. Yeah, but I wanted this to be a bit more special. She blushes, seeming touched, and my chest swells with joy. I guess I picked well.
That's great.
Oh, this is great. So thank you. I get to have fun with you and help people out. She squeezes her hands into happy little fists. Then she grabs my arm, pulling me gently. Come on then. I bet you can't beat me at air hockey. Oh, is that a challenge? Grinning, we head into the event. I'm not sure how long we spend flitting from game to game, but the two of us definitely have a good time. We bash away at arcade buttons, try our hand at the claw machines. Spoiler alert, we failed. Those things are rigged. They are. And go head-to-head on various two-player games. The air hockey tournament was close, but in the end, she did, in fact, win. I totally threw the game in her favor. Totally. We're laughing at each other's competitive spirit when an announcement comes over the speakers, telling us that the charity auction is about to start. Neither of us have any plans to bid on anything, but just watching alone will still be fun. Catching each other's eyes excitedly, we head into the auction room. Ooh, pretty. This is a big ballroom, my goodness. Wow. This couldn't be more different from the games area. The white-colored tables are decked out with complimentary glasses of various drinks, and the whole place feels much more sophisticated. I feel as though we're suddenly at a wedding or something. Brianna and I take a seat at one of the smaller tables, picking out drinks and glancing around with interest. I don't think I've ever been to an auction before.
This is so nice.
This is cool, Skull. And free drinks? You sure know how to treat a lady. We giggle quietly, leaning into each other.
You know,
Hopefully they tell us some more about the charity itself soon. I'd like to know what they do and where it's based. As though on cue, a well-dressed man takes to the podium and welcomes everyone to the event. Brianna gets her wish. The opening segment is dedicated to introducing the charity and the types of resources it offers. The speakers also share true stories about past and current patients and how the charity has helped them to change their lives for the better. With each one, Brianna seems to grow more and more transfixed. I guess she's really touched by these stories. When the auction begins and the noise level in the room rises just enough for us to be able to talk in hushed tones. What do you think, Brianna? This is so much more in-depth than I thought it would be.
yeah.
Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. It's brilliant! I'd vaguely heard of these guys before, but I never properly looked into them. They do so much. I'm gonna have to update my server's resource section with a much bigger emphasis on them. People will really benefit from their services. A determined, inspired glint appears in her eyes, and it makes her look even more attractive. She's so passionate. I'm really glad you're enjoying yourself.
You're really great.
You're not kidding! Thanks again, Skull. This is easily the most thoughtful date I've ever been on. She squeezes one of my hands in appreciation. It makes my stomach clench with glee. We turn our attention back to the auction. There are all sorts of things on offer, from paintings to electronics and just about everything in between. In my head, I pretend I'm a wealthy baron, outbidding everyone by at least $10,000. If only I was that rich. Mood. A set of crystal glass vases is sold, and then a much smaller box is brought up onto the display stand. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very fine piece of jewelry from another generous local business. When the box opens, I hear Brianna gasp softly beside me. A beautiful hand-cut amethyst gemstone painstakingly polished into the gorgeous piece you see before you. It's set in a delicate gold-plated frame and comes with a similarly eye-catching chain. Where do we start the bidding on this gorgeous necklace? Do I see $50? A hand shoots up and the bidding war begins. I sneak another glance at Brianna and her eyes are locked onto the necklace. Pretty, isn't it? It's lovely. Amethyst is my favorite stone. She watches as the price slowly increases. That's $125 for the gentleman at the front. Can I get $130 for this stunning piece of jewelry? $130. There's an air of hesitance and nobody rises to the challenge. Looks like the man at the front has won it. However, I find myself blinking in disbelief when... There! $130 from the Lady in White. Brianna smiles anxiously, having sprung up from her seat. Her hand is high in the air. Whoa, you're really going for it?
Actually,
I just love what this charity does. I wouldn't normally get involved, but... She presses a hand to her chest, her skin slightly pink with warmth.
I just
feel really moved. I might not win. We turn our attention back to the man she just outbid. The auctioneer is currently trying to coerce him into raising his offer to $140. He glances at Brianna for a second, then raises his hand, nodding. Yes, $140 for this amethyst beauty. How about it, my dear? Can I get $145? He directs his question at Brianna, and she freezes, thinking wildly. Then, her hand shoots up again. Oh, she's feeling generous tonight. That's $145. Ooh, all the audience. I swivel to look at Brianna, impressed. Go on, Brianna. She exhales a nervous laugh, and we whip back around to face the front. What do you say, sir? Will you stretch to a nice round 150? I cross my fingers, hoping that he'll decline. Annoyingly, his hand goes up again. Brianna sighs, seeming disappointed and slightly distressed. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, young lady, will you do one better for us? How about $155? Every room in the head turns to face her, eagerly waiting for her response. She winces slightly as she considers it, visibly agonizing over it. Then, after a moment, she admits defeat. I guess it's just too much money for her to spend on the spur of the moment. There's an audible moan of disappointment, and the room turns its attention back to the man in the front, who's about to emerge victorious. Oh, such a shame. I believe that means that our highest bidder is the gentleman with $150. This is your last opportunity to snag this beautiful necklace for yourself. I turn to Brianna, who looks somewhat regretful. Hey, don't beat yourself up. You really gave him a fright there.
It's okay.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have started getting my hopes up. I just got really caught up in the moment. She shakes it off, relaxing once more.
Hey,
It was fun being a part of it for a little while. The necklace is really beautiful, but it'll go to a good home. And you bid up the guy, so there's even more money going to charity. She leans forward to watch as the auctioneer tries to fish more bids out of the crowd, but no one's biting. I watch with an odd tension rising in my stomach. All right, that's $150. Going once. He taps his hammer against the podium sharply. I feel so restless. Brianna might be a gracious loser, but she really likes that necklace. Going twice? The impact of the hammer sends a shockwave through me as I gaze at Brianna's pretty, yet resigned smile. 160! My hand is in the air, and the whole room is brought to a standstill.
what?
Skull? She hisses my name in shock. Ho ho! We have a last-minute contender. 160 to you, my friend. My heart thumps in my chest. I fix my gaze upon the man I just outbid, praying that he's not looking for a fight. Now then, are you willing to stamp out this new opposition? Can I get 165 from you, sir? The man twitches, glancing at me feverishly and practically chewing on his fingers as he debates it. Then he raises his hand, waves it in a no gesture, shakes his head, and sits back down. Oh, would you look at that? 165 is just a step too far. He gave up. That means this exquisite amethyst necklace is selling to our wild card bidder for $160. Going once. His hammer swings again, and my body jerks with adrenaline. Going twice? Sold! I'm shaking. The necklace is boxed up once more, and my legs feel like jelly as I walk down to the front to collect it. The crowd applaud my chaotic last-minute steal, and I give the auctioneer my payment details shakily. Boy, I feel nervous and I wasn't even there. When I make it back up to our table, Brianna is positively on the ceiling. I can't believe you just did that! Neither can I. Do you think I'm an idiot?
No way.
No, that was incredible! I never knew auctions could be that exciting. You had the whole room going crazy. Begone, bot. Wow, that is a really hard name to type. You made me work for it. Go away. She laughs melodically, and I exhale a giggle myself. This was not part of the plan, but... well, at least you could say you didn't go home empty-handed after all.
What?
What do you mean? My grip tightens around the box in my hands, and then I offer it to her with a genuine smile. It's yours. Oh. Well, I prefer typing it out. She stares in disbelief, her eyes darting between the box and my face.
No.
No, that's... you just spent $160 on that. I know. I want you to have it. Honestly, when the thought of bidding that much first crossed my mind, I dismissed it as way too impulsive. However, the more I thought about why I'm here, the more I wanted to do it. This is the night I show Brianna my true feelings for her and treat her in all the ways she deserves. That would be really sweet if only I didn't know what was going to happen next. Plus, she wanted so desperately to contribute to the charity and clearly couldn't part with that much money herself. $160 is a lot, but then what do I spend my own money on? Excuse me. Before I met her, I pretty much just sat at home, sat at the office, and repeated. I never really went anywhere or bought much. My earnings pay the bills every month, and whatever's left over just kind of sits in my account, waiting for a special occasion that never really comes. I think this is that special occasion, with a special girl, for a special reason. That's justifiable to me. I mean it. I move closer to her, opening the box and offering the necklace to her again.
I don't...
Are you... She mumbles as she gazes at the pretty gemstone. Her hand stretches toward it hesitantly. I'm positive. I did this for you, Brianna. We gave some money to a worthy cause, and I was able to get you a meaningful present. I'm happy to do this. She looks up at me intensely, her eyes swimming with emotion. Then she reaches forward, grabbing my hands instead of the box. The floral scent of her shampoo fills my senses again as she draws close. Before I know it, she's pressing her lips to my cheek. She feels warm, and my skin almost crackles under her touch. She moves back again, beaming at me with a knockout smile.
You're really great.
You're truly, truly amazing, Skull. I'm sure I don't deserve this, but if you're really certain... I nod with confidence, pushing the box toward her a final time. She taps the necklace out carefully, examining its well-crafted edges, and opens the clasp.
Hey.
Would you? Sure. She hands it to me, turning around so I could put it on her. I fumble a little with both nerves and excitement as I fasten the catch. She swivels back around, grasping the amethyst and turning it at different angles to see how the light bounces off it. Then her smile widens even more.
This is so nice.
It's gorgeous. I'm so lucky to be with you right now, you know that? Nah, I'm the lucky one. We laugh in unison, our eyes meeting again. She never fully moved away from me after I put the necklace on her, so we're still standing quite close to each other. God, she's so pretty. Everything about her seems to glow. Suddenly, the auction seems very far away, as though hidden behind a curtain. All I could see is Brianna, and as we stand suspended in the moment, her delicate mouth opens.
You know,
Skull. Like I'm obeying a magnetic pull, I lean in, and she does the same. Aww. The real jewel is here. That's precious! Oh, that's adorable. Oh. My whole body feels like it's on fire as I kiss her. Well, Skull is taller than her at the very least. She's so soft, and yet there's a gentle firmness to the way she pushes herself against me. I don't think the rest of the auction goers are paying us any attention, but even if they are, I couldn't care less. I've wanted this for weeks, and it's finally happening. We stay in the moment a little longer, withdrawing, and then going back for another kiss almost immediately. Is this music specific to this CG? No, it's so pretty. This whole scene is really pretty. The way Brianna's breath rushes against my face suggests that she's enjoying this as much as I am. Then, almost dizzy, we part. I won't lie, I was kind of hoping there'd be an updated character portrait of her with the necklace around her neck. I get that would cost extra money, though. It's fine. We both break into sheepish grins, equally surprised and overjoyed that it happened. It's, kind of hot in here, isn't it? She fans herself, and the amethyst gleams against her blushing skin. It's definitely the kissing that's caused our temperatures to zoom. Yeah, it is.
Can I ask you something?
Do you maybe want to step outside for a minute? Okay, yeah. What was that voice I gave her just now? It's embarrassing. The night air hits us soothingly as we exit out onto the street. It sure got dark while we were inside. I guess we've been at the event for a couple of hours at least. We linger awkwardly by the wall, giggling and unsure of what to do with ourselves. The friendship barrier has been thoroughly broken now. Feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice out here. Do you want to go back in and watch the rest of the auction? She contemplates for a second.
Well,
I don't mind if we leave. It's not like either of us are going to be bidding on any more $160 necklaces. Don't remind me. My card is going to be very confused when that transaction goes through. I was wondering how he was going to pay. Right. So, did you want to call it a night, or... I trail off expectantly, really hoping that I can spend just a little more time with her.
actually,
Well,
I just really...
I kinda don't want to say goodbye just yet, if you don't. Yes! Just what I wanted. It'd be nice to do something else to finish off the evening. Maybe we should take a walk and see where we end up.
Ah,
Sounds good.
okay.
We can get a drink or something somewhere if you fancy it. I nod happily, and the two of us head off into the night. We wander at a relaxed pace, passing bars, clubs, and restaurants as we go. It's Saturday night, so the streets are pretty lively. Brianna makes scattered chit-chat about our date so far, twirling the necklace around her finger happily. Did you write this music too, Borealis, or did you get this from somewhere? Just curious, because I could see this particular one, this beatbox, whatever, going either way. I can reply decently enough, but my mind is running at about 100 miles an hour. Not only have I managed to show Brianna a good time tonight, but we sealed the deal with a kiss. No, multiple! Things couldn't have gone more perfectly, but I can't let it end just yet. I have one more trick up my sleeve, and I'm so close to making it happen. Just one last quiet moment alone with her is all I need. We head around a corner, coming up against a large crowd of rowdy partygoers. Looks like they've been in the club behind them and have come out for a smoke in the cool breeze. They jeer drunkenly at us as we pass, and several guys leer at Brianna with desire. Wanting to protect her, I put my arm around her shoulders and steer her gently out of the idiot's reach. You want an idiot? Look in the mirror. She looks up at me gratefully as we go. A few dumb comments are yelled, but other than that, we manage to escape them. Glancing around, I search for somewhere better to take her, somewhere that will give us the privacy I'm craving. Okay, cool. I kind of guessed it was something like that. After a moment, I spot the perfect answer. It's a bit crazy around here. Do you want to take the underpass back toward the other side of town? I nod at its entryway.
Okay, sure.
Oh, sure. I didn't realize this city had underpasses. There'll probably be less drunken perverts on the other side, so I'm down. We laugh and head into the tunnel. Okay, in the Ash route, we ended up at our place. In the Malik route, we ended up at his place. And now here we are in public, in wherever this place is. This is where it all goes down, folks. I am not going to sleep well tonight. Real talk. These walkways aren't exactly romantic. They're not very clean, the walls are cracked, and the lights are pretty dim. However, the blissful quiet in here is so nice that I don't think it matters very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for helping me out back there. Her voice echoes off the walls as she speaks. Oh, no problem. Should have realized that taking such a gorgeous girl out on the town would cause a ruckus. I wink at her and she giggles airily, blushing.
By the way...
Anyway, yeah. I've never used any of these walkways before. Does this one go under the train tracks? I think so. We should pop out near the underground entrance down the street from work.
Ah.
Oh, cool. We fall into a comfortable silence as we walk, and my stomach begins to bubble. This has to be the right moment. You know, I've been thinking. A dangerous pastime. I know. She glances at me as we stroll, waiting for me to continue. Is this gonna make me cry? Not Brianna. I've really enjoyed getting to know you the past couple of weeks, and tonight has been amazing. She beams, her cheeks turning pink. I reach for her hand, and she slides her fingers firmly between mine. I won't go into it again, but like I said at the aquarium, I've had some really crappy relationships. I feel like meeting you has been so different from all of that. I know we haven't known each other very long, but you're a wonderful person, and I grind to a halt, my heart pounding. She stops too, gazing back at me with emotion in her eyes. I think you and I could be something special, Brianna. Like, genuinely special. Worlds apart from the disappointment we faced before we met. She straightens her posture as she listens, almost leaning toward me in anticipation. If you feel the same, then I'd like to make that a reality. Time ceased. I know what's coming next, but for some reason this just feels way worse than the other two. I don't know why. This is just so bad. Time seems to freeze as we stare at each other wordlessly. The tension in the air is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Then her lips part, and her voice rings like a bell in the near darkness.
I really like you.
I'd love that, Skull. I really like you. A relieved laugh escapes me, and she giggles too. That's all I needed to hear. Pulling gently on her hand, I draw her toward me. She takes my other hand as we meet. Before I know it, we're kissing again. Only this time, there's no one around. As the kiss deepens, my body seems to act on its own, subconsciously carrying out the very last part of my plan for tonight. We've dated, we've kissed, we've started a relationship. Now all it needs. I push Brianna backwards slowly, and she lets me walk her in reverse until her back bumps against the tunnel wall. There's an ugly metal pipe behind her, but judging by the spellbound look on her face, I don't think she's even noticed. You're pretty forward, Skull. She says this with a playful smirk, and I shoot one back. Is that bad of me?
Wow.
Not entirely. She grips my hands more tightly, leaning up to kiss me again. I could tell exactly where she thinks this is heading. I kiss her firmly, caressing her cheek with my hand and running it down her hip. She shudders with delight at my touch. Then I slip my free hand into one of my pockets, pulling out something cool and metallic. Finally, the moment has come. I take both of her hands again. While her eyes are still closed, I strike. Trapped. Oh, man. With swift movements, I push her arms around the pipe attached to the wall behind her. Then I slip my secret weapon, a pair of handcuffs, over her wrists. I snap them shut before she's even had time to react. It takes her a second to realize what I've done. No, you're not. No, you're not. Maybe a little. She glances behind her, realizing that she's stuck in place. I didn't have you down as the kinky type, Skull. A bemused grin stretches across her face, betraying a tiny hint of discomfort.
I don't...
It's a bit soon for that, though, isn't it? You should probably just go back to mine and, start things slow. This is probably too intense for her, considering it's her first time with me. Little does she know that my intentions are very different. I did buy the handcuffs and my other secret weapon from a sex shop yesterday, but I never planned on using them for their intended purposes. Sex is the last thing on my mind right now. Actually, I lie. Seeing her handcuffed to a pipe is kinda hot. But I digress. This isn't a kinky thing, Brianna. Sorry to mislead you, but I had to do this out of necessity. You're right, where I want you, right now. Excuse me. She blinks in confusion.
Seriously?
Here? Why would you want us to stay here? Her eyes dart around the dingy underpass with disgust, finally noticing how dank it is. Because it's perfect, Brianna. I gaze down at her, feeling a sudden rush of power at the situation I'm in. She can't move, and my plan has finally fallen into place. Skull. She says my name in a near whisper.
What are you doing?
You're making me feel uncomfortable. She tries to gently slip out of the handcuffs, but it's no use. Can you just... Will you take them off and... I surge forward, grabbing her roughly and pinning her in place. No, I don't think so, Brianna. Not after all the effort I've put in to get you here. I've been fantasizing about this for a long time. Longer than we've even known each other. What? She stares incredulously at me.
I don't understand.
How? That doesn't even make sense. What a huge question you've asked. I take a deep breath, wondering where to start. I think my parents' divorce was the catalyst. We never exactly had a loving household, but after they split, it got way worse. It felt like neither of them really wanted me. They kept passing me back and forth between them, and I bounced from house to house, never feeling at home anywhere. Makes you feel so worthless while they're constantly pushed onto someone else, only to have them throw you right back a week or two later. I swallow bitterly, resenting them for being so thoughtless toward their only child. Since my parents clearly didn't love me, I knew I'd have to find that love elsewhere. I knew that if I could just find a romantic partner who would treat me right, I'd be okay. Maybe I was too eager. But I tried so hard, snatching at any opportunity for love that I could find. I've been in quite a few relationships, and with each one, I prayed that I'd found the one that'd give me what I needed. Of course, that didn't exactly happen the way I wanted it to. Ugh. Excuse me. I feel my anger begin to rise up within me darkly. Brianna says nothing, simply staring and waiting for me to continue. People are so fickle, Brianna, and they're liars. They say they love you, when in actual fact, they have totally different agendas. I've always given my all in relationships, and every one of them betrayed me. Brianna's expression becomes hard to read, but she raises her voice again.
Yeah.
I know you've been through some horrible things, and you truly didn't deserve any of them, but this is...
Actually...
I genuinely like you, you know? I had a blast tonight, and I left that auction knowing for sure that I wanted to be in a relationship with you. So you don't need to be so forceful. You already have my loyalty, my... That's not good enough! I slam my hands against the wall, either side of her head. The rage within me is climbing dangerously. Brianna flinches, ducking slightly at the impact. I learned long ago that trust doesn't work, and that betrayal is inevitable. That's why I developed this plan, to ensure that no one defies me again. Yeah, we have the necklace on the CG, I saw that. You have no idea what lengths I prepared to go to, Brianna. A small, strangled noise erupts from her throat. I don't ever want to hear excuses again. My exes were all such liars. You're so overbearing, Skull. You never let me do what I want. You're manipulative. No matter how much I bared my soul to them, that's all I get in response. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Of course I had to start setting rules, monitoring their friends, taking away their phones. I had to keep them tethered to me. Otherwise, they'd just leave. I start to feel panicky as I remember it all. And yet, they still found a way to ditch me. I followed them secretly. I boxed them in socially. I bent their lives to my will for their own good, for our future. And they threw it back in my face. I feel like I'm speaking on fast forward, the hurt pouring out of me. Brianna's eyes widen in shock with every sentence. The kicker was the girl who cheated. It doesn't get much more disrespectful than that, does it? She told me weeks before that she wanted nothing to do with me anymore, but of course I didn't listen. Just empty words. She can't have meant it. Then I'm walking through town and I see her holding hands with some jackass. Oh, I'm lightheaded. Thought she'd have the best of both worlds, did she? I couldn't believe it! My hands ball into angry fists, but I'm distracted by Brianna's voice, suddenly loud in my ear.
Wait!
That's not cheating! She broke up with you and moved on, and you couldn't handle seeing her with someone else. Of course I couldn't! She was mine!
No.
No, Skull. You're seeing it all completely wrong. Everything you just told me.
How dare you?
You're insane. And now she's crying. It was all your fault. You've manipulated, gaslighted, and trapped those poor people, and you make yourself out to be the victim. Her voice gets both higher and louder as she shouts at me. I've never seen her so aggressive before.
I can't believe this.
You didn't need to do any of that stuff. It's no wonder you've never been able to hold down a relationship if that's how you treat people. With everything you've just said, I'm not surprised that last girl divorced you. She spits this last part with repulsion. Oh boy. I need to catch my breath. Okay. Although this conversation is far from enjoyable, I can't help but bark out a laugh. Oh, you silly girl. She didn't divorce me. I've never been married. But you said she served you the papers. My amusement wilts at this reminder. Yes, very complicated papers. I had to go through all sorts of legal bullshit meetings, and now I'm not even allowed to go near her. Moved house and everything! My resentment festers like a wound. Brianna's face twists into a look of horror.
What?
So, it's a restraining order? She mumbles this in a high, fearful tone. That's what they call it. A load of shit is what I call it. Brianna starts to shake, inching as far away from me as she can manage, which isn't very far, considering her predicament. You stalked her? A fiery breath huffs out of me. It was not stalking. The world is a free place. You can't get in trouble for keeping an eye on your own possessions.
I can't believe this.
What she said. You're not who I thought you were at all. You're so cruel. It's like she's almost in awe of how revolting she finds me. Well, you've outdone yourself, Brianna. I really thought you were going to be different. But in the end, you're just the same as all my exes. Like me one minute, hate me the next. The only difference is that this time, there's no escape. My anger gives way to that feeling of authority again. Seizing the power it gives me, I grab her by the arms once more. I've been plotting this for a long time. The perfect way to make sure my lover stays in my control. And now my dreams come true. I realize that I'm giggling madly, almost drunk on how euphoric I am. Nothing's gonna get in between the two of us. I'm trapped you here, and now you have no choice but to submit to me. Brianna's whole body trembles delicately under my grasp. I bury my nose in her hair. When that flowery scent hits my nostrils again, I feel a sick sense of desire pull within me. You'll never be able to betray me like everyone else did. I'm going to keep you here forever, where no one can interrupt our relationship or take you away from me. We'll have a perfect future, Brianna. It's just what we wanted, isn't it? I feel myself hyperventilating slightly in excitement and from doing all those voices, but Brianna shakes her head.
Stop it.
That won't work. I can't stay handcuffed here. Someone will find me. You won't get away with this. No. I press a finger to her lips. No one's coming to set you free. Indulging her curious stare, I elaborate. In actual fact, I'd scouted out several places in the city before our date, looking for potential spots for this to happen. This tunnel was just one of my options. Luckily, we hit it perfectly while trying to escape those drunks. I couldn't have imagined it better if I tried. This thing is, I admitted the truth when I told Brianna about this underpass. The real deal with these tunnels is that they've been in disuse for years, hence why they're so dirty and broken. They become such bad hotspots for crime, muggings, and assaults and whatnot that the local council blocked most of them off, warning people not to use them anymore. That's why I knew it would be perfect for tonight. No one's going to follow us in here for fear of being attacked. It's beautifully undisrupted. I also knew from the beginning that it wouldn't lead us to where I said it would. There are tunnels that lead to the station I'd mentioned, but this isn't one of them. The only thing you'll find at the end of this walkway is a maze of back streets and probably a drug den or two. Again, the exact reason why no one will come here, and the reason it's perfect for me. For us. I tell all of this to Brianna with increasing joy, my heart hammering in my chest wildly. You. Unable to speak properly, she emits several terrified sobbing sounds as she writhes underneath my hands. I think the hopelessness of her situation is finally settling in. Don't worry, you won't be alone. I'll come here every day, before and after work. I'll visit you all the time. I'll bring you food. I'll tell you just how pretty you are. I stroke her hair lovingly. The amethyst on her chest glints like a mark of my ownership. We'll be able to enjoy this perfect relationship in peace. No interruptions. No betrayal. Just you and me forever. Yeah, what an asshole. Ugh. There's a moment of pure silence, during which the two of us stare each other down. My face is mere inches from hers. Our eyes are wide, and our breathing is harsh. Then Brianna practically explodes, screaming and twisting her body around as violently as she can. You're a fucking psycho! Get away from me! There's no need for that, Brianna. Just stop. I lean my weight against her to try to minimize her thrashing, but her anguished shrieks are practically blowing up the tunnel with sound. Luckily, I thought of a way to stop that, too. Aw, man, you frickin'... Ugh. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Letting the handcuffs do their work, I let go of her briefly to dive into my other pocket. Pulling out my second sex shop purchase, I examine it carefully, making sure I've got it the right way around. No! She cries the word out as soon as she realizes what I'm holding, but I ignore her. This ball gag is exactly the right thing to shut her up. I advance on her again, pushing the gag onto her face. However, it's a much more difficult task than I'd thought for. Brianna's really putting up a fight. She wriggles and flails with all her might, dislodging the straps of the gag every time I get close to being able to buckle it up. Annoyingly, she manages to swing her leg upward and her knee connects forcibly with my stomach. A horrible twinge of pain shoots through me. I stagger backward for a second, winded and short of breath. You little bitch! Just accept your fate! More enraged than ever, I fling myself at her again, letting the adrenaline carry me through the agony. Just your stomach? Yeah, lucky. I get the gag decently pressed against her face, but I feel like I'm trying to do multiple things at once here. Maybe that's why I'm not succeeding. Perhaps I should focus on one at a time. There comes a time in your life where you have to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? Ugh. I'm going with bottom for one reason. I'm not overthinking this. I'm going with bottom for one reason. That was the correct answer for the Malik route. Simple as that. Committed. Here we go. Okay. If this was the wrong answer, I am not going to forgive myself. Okay, if the straps are tight, it might be easier to force the ball in. I let go of the ball for now, stepping closer to Brianna and using my body to try and block her from moving too much. Taking the gag in both hands, I do my best to feed the strap into the buckle. It feels as though I'm standing there fumbling with it forever, with my progress constantly being pushed back by Brianna's wriggling. This would be so much easier if I could see the damn thing. No, I made two separate saves, Tim. See, the other one's right there. Also, I guess I'm just now thinking about it, just now realizing I don't want to gag her, so a bit more time of letting her be free. I guess that was my subconscious being like, don't touch this girl! There we go. Practically flattening myself against her, I peer around the back of her head to look at what I'm doing. There. Okay, just gotta get the little pin to go through the hole. Ouch! A new pain jolts through my body, this time on my arm. Brianna managed to twist her face far enough away from the gag that she was able to bite me. Get off! I recoil suddenly, freeing myself from her grip and dropping the gag in the process. Then the unthinkable happens. Brianna wrenches her arms forward as hard as she can, groaning as the metal of the handcuffs cuts into her wrists. To my horror, the cheapness of their material prevails. One of the handcuffs snaps open under the strain, setting her free from the pipe. You go, girl. No! I knew I should have tried to get my hands on some legit cuffs and not those stupid sex shop toy versions, dumbass! Like a rampaging dog let out of a cage, Brianna leaps away from me and races down the tunnel as quickly as she can. I kind of want her to get away. I really want her to get away. If that is a bad ending of where she gets away and Skull gets in prison, boy, do it. Her footsteps echo like a chorus of drums behind her. Brianna! I can't let her get away. Lunging forward, I scoop up the gag from the ground and chase after her. My running speed is infuriatingly slow due to the fact that my stomach still hurts from where she hit me. This is going to make me motion sick. Barreling clumsily down the tunnel, I start to see a brighter light as we reach its end. Brianna's ahead of me, whipping around frantically. I guess she has no idea where to go. She won't know which direction leads back to civilization and which will take her deeper through the back streets. Please pick badly. Please get lost so I can trap you again. Noticing my approach, she squeals in alarm. This is making me motion sick. And darts down the street to her right. Determined not to give up, I follow. I lurch almost drunkenly, clutching my stomach as I run. The handcuffs dangling from her arm jiggle in the quiet night air, almost taunting me. I stumble around a corner. To my relief, a wonderful sight greets me. Brianna has run herself into a dead end. She stands in a dark, narrow alleyway, illuminated only by the faint glow coming from a nearby building. An iron-gated fence stands at the bottom, blocking her path. This is perfect! I straighten up again, my confidence boosted once more by this lucky turn of events. Then I creep toward Brianna slowly, like a lion closing in on its prey.
No, no.
I never wanted to see this. I never wanted to see that. She's... Presses honey bun. Skull, you're an idiot. No, please don't. Her breath rasps noisily as she starts to hyperventilate in terror. The whites of her eyes glisten in the dark, betraying how stressed and desperate she is. That's enough, Brianna. It's over. I step closer to her. She glances around madly for a way out, finding nothing. You've got to let me go. This is insane. Help! Can anyone hear me? She calls into the night, and although I feel pretty certain that no one's around, I still don't want her making so much noise. That fence is a great spot to attach her to if I could get the handcuffs to shut again. Then I could come back with a pair of genuine handcuffs that won't break on me. I just need to make sure she doesn't catch anyone's attention. I feel like we dodged something. I feel like we dodged that. Okay. 1 save, 2 save. Oh, 2 save. I'm thinking actually number 1 dim. We've never had 2 twice in a row, and I don't think that we would have it now. Also, the last time we threatened Malik with the knife, he kind of killed us. I'm kind of thinking maybe we don't threaten or we kill her. Like, no, I will not put myself in a position where there's anything that could harm her, which is why I'm going to do the very nice thing and gag her. My mind is made up. I'm going to hell. Maybe round 2 with the gag will work. Holding it steadily, I lunge wildly at Brianna. I'm much more forceful in my movements now, fueled by my desperation to get it right this time. What she said. Unable to slip out of my grasp, she makes muffled protests as I get the ball in her mouth, but her arms are still free. To my relief, I'm able to strap into the buckle and secure it tightly. Finally, I've done it. She tries to wail aloud, but the sound is considerably stunted. Just what I need. There. That's much better. Now, let's get you fastened up to those bars. Holding her by the arms, I march backwards until she's standing against the iron fence. Okay, the left-hand side of the handcuffs is still attached to her just fine. All I need is to reconnect the right-hand side once her arms are through the fence and loop them together. Of course, Borealis knows if I'm correct or not, just sitting there giggling at the stream right now. You're probably getting flashbacks to that guy who chose incorrectly every single time. I'm beginning to see why. None of these are obvious. I guess we'll see if I got the double dodge. I screwed up once with Ash. I screwed up once with Malik. I really hope I'm not screwing up with Brianna. Leave this girl alone. I position her arms where I need them to be and let go of one of her wrists for a split second to reattach the handcuff. Is she going to give you a black eye? I hope she gives you a black eye. However, just as I'm reaching for it, bound and gagged. She moves so fast. Brianna took that tiny window of opportunity to pull her free arm back around and grab the oaken handcuff dangling from her other wrist. Before I could react, she snapped it shut, over my wrist instead. She'd caught one of the bars of the fence inside the loop too, trapping me in place. Now both of us are stuck. Stunned, I momentarily lose the ability to speak. Okay, I've got a good feeling. I feel like we'd be dead by now if this was incorrect. I watch as she scrambles to wrench her arm out of the handcuff just like she did before. However, this is the one that stayed firmly shut, and it seems to be maintaining its grip. She can't get free. What she said. Borealis, what was it like having to tell your Brianna actress, okay, now I need for you to make a moan like you've been gagged with a sex toy? Just wait until the cops find us? That's also possible. I assume we have the key to these handcuffs, though, in our pocket. She pulls and shakes at it, tears forming in her eyes. She could probably almost smell her freedom. If she could just get loose, she could run back through the tunnel and leave me stranded here, unable to chase her down like last time. She groans angrily, thrashing against the little metal prison, and then looks at me sharply. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, you bet. Hi, Roth. What she said. She fights to make her speech as clear as possible through the gag, and I just about understand her. The only thing is, I don't have it. My tongue loosened at last. I speak with a resigned gloom. Although we're technically on equal footing in this predicament, I feel drained, as though I can't keep going anymore. I'm calling it. We're in the clear. This is the same point of the Malik and Ash route, where we're both so drained where we can't do anything. That it was clear that we were in the clear. Plus the music stopped. And we got the CG. I think we're in the clear. I think we double dodged. I am so overwhelmed with so many emotions right now. I mean, we're not 100% in the clear yet, but I think we are. Brianna squeaks in disbelief through the gag, and I repeat myself. I didn't bring the key. I'm not bluffing either. I genuinely left it at home. Considering I'd planned to never remove the cuffs once they were on her, I didn't think I'd need it. This information alarms Brianna further. She starts flailing around again, trying to dislodge the handcuff with all her might. After a few moments, the adrenaline seems to rush out of her, and her movements slow down. She's already been through enough tonight that I'm not surprised. The fact that she's already fought for so long is impressive. Giving up, she sinks to her knees on trembling legs. Her eyelids grow heavy with exhaustion. I stare down at her. My head swims with a jumble of emotions as she starts to cry. You've made the lady cry! I will not stand for this. I still want to act out my plan, but somehow I don't think it's possible now. Plus, as much as I want to be the one in control, I hate seeing her so upset. Now that I'm looking at her properly, I'm getting a distinct twinge of regret. Not for what I feel or what I was aiming to do. I just don't like how helpless she looks. Her free hand reaches up and starts fumbling with the buckle at the back of her head, trying to prise it open. Again, she fails to make any difference to the device that's restraining her. It's not that easy to undo a buckle one-handed, especially when you can't see. Her eyes wander up to meet mine, tears spilling hotly from them. Don't look at me like that. She whines, pointing at the buckle, and then motioning at me. I've never seen a person look so desperate. The compassionate side of me triggered, I kneel down beside her. I think we dodged it, Dim. I think we're far enough along now that this is a dodge. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I think it's a dodge. I have to keep one arm held high, though, suspended from where it's cuffed against the fence. I reach around the back of her head with my free hand, and she does the same. You wanted to see me fail? I am the king! I never fail. Except for that one time where we died. Then we failed, but anyway. And that other time where we made Ash angry, which was a fail. But we never fail! We got one more chance. Oh, this is so painful. This is... I do not feel well. It genuinely makes me feel ill. Having to do this. I reach around the back of her head with my free hand, and she does the same. Without talking, we manage to work out a system where I pull the strap while she tries to push the little pin out of the hole. After a minute or so, we actually succeed. That's a dodge! That's 100% a dodge. We're in the clear. Oh! Let's go. You have no idea how much relief I feel right now. The strap falls away at last. She pulls the gag out of her mouth with disgust, flinging it onto the ground at her feet. Silence fills the air, broken only by Brianna's quiet sniffles as she sobs. With every noise she makes and tears she sheds, I feel like I'm being stabbed in the gut. Brianna, please don't cry. I can't stand.
How dare you?
I have every fucking reason to cry, Skull! She sputters this furiously through her tears, and I shut my mouth. She is absolutely right. This was intense. Even if I stand by what I tried to do, it was completely shocking. Were you really gonna do that? Were you actually gonna just leave me there at the pipe and keep me like a pet? Like a slave? There's no other way. I state my belief again, but this time I sound more like an upset child than the commanding brute I'd been up until about 3 minutes ago. I'm starting to feel really vulnerable.
I just can't.
What she said. She shakes her head, and her mouth hangs open in disbelief.
I can't believe this.
I genuinely liked you. You know that? I felt that right from the start. The first day we met, even. Every time we hung out or worked together, I felt more attracted to who you were. You seemed so nice and understanding. I actually enjoyed everyone's teasing in the office because it meant that I wasn't alone in thinking that we might make a good couple. I came on this date tonight because I was hoping you'd ask me out properly. I would have willingly started a relationship with you. I guess in fact, I technically did. The anger starts to fade from her face. But you've completely ruined it. After doing all this. She glares at our cuffed hands incredulously.
I don't understand.
I don't even know who you are. I can't understand you at all. Actually... Her expression shifts as though she's having some kind of realization, and she shakes her head.
No.
No. After tonight, I understand you perfectly. No, you don't! I hadn't meant to yell, but something about that sentence really bothers me. You know nothing about how I feel or what I've been through. You couldn't possibly understand! After spitting those words venomously, I fall silent. She watches me stew for a moment and then pipes up again. I don't agree. Considering everything you've told me about yourself, the way you've handled rejection, your parents' divorce, you probably have PTSD, Skull. Is this going to make me cry?
Oh.
I had a strong feeling that her working with mental health would come into play here. She gazes at me seriously. Her tears are no longer flowing, and she looks almost analytic. PTSD? No, I don't think so. I don't have anything like that. I curl up into a protective ball at the thought.
Listen.
Look, I work with people with mental health issues on that online community, right? I've educated myself about a lot of common problems that people have. I've dealt with people who have these things. I recognize the signs of PTSD when I see them. My brain instantly rejects what she's saying, and I snort in false amusement. That's bullshit. I'm nothing like those people. My mind begins to conjure up dramatic images of people in mental hospitals dressed in white gowns and having scream fits on the floor. It makes my skin crawl. I bet you really feel superior, don't you? Lording over all those poor broken people, telling them what it's like to be normal? I'm not entirely sure I meant any of that, but my mouth is just working on its own as a sort of defense mechanism. She's making me feel accused somehow. Brianna doesn't say anything in response at first. A long, heavy sigh escapes her, and her shoulders slump forward. Then she fixes me with a look that seems to contain a whole world of emotions, as though her words are only the tip of the iceberg.
Seriously?
Skull, it's not nice to be that judgmental about mental health. It's not about being broken versus normal. Everybody's valid no matter what they're going through. Besides, if we're really going to talk about broken people, then I'm in no position to talk down to anyone. I had a hunch. Don't do this to me. Her eyes roll upward for a second as though she's ashamed of something. Because I'm one of those people. I can't summon any words to reply. My brain is launched into confusion. She continues.
Oh.
The reason I'm so passionate about mental health and charities that help people in any way is because I've suffered with depression pretty much my whole life. I've needed those services myself. I went without diagnosis for a long time, and it was really difficult. As a kid, I used to have terrible mood swings and times when I just crashed and couldn't even function properly. Naturally, most people just thought I was a silly kid looking for attention, so it got ignored. But the older I grew, the worse it got. I could tell that my family and friends were starting to suffer because of me, and it was horrible because I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just couldn't control my feelings. I felt so bad all the time. She pauses, swallowing a lump of sadness. Things only started to look up a couple of years ago. I switched to a new doctor's practice, and one of them actually took me seriously for a change. I finally got diagnosed and given access to all the resources that would help. I tried all kinds of things. It was like a whole new world opened up. It was definitely rough at times, but over the last 2 years, it's been a massive improvement for me. I found things that work pretty well. Look! She reaches around her body, tugging at the tiny bag that's been on her shoulder all night. Prizing the zip open with one hand awkwardly, she delves into it and pulls out a box, holding it out to show me. Antidepressants? She nods, putting them back.
By the way,
When I said we could go get drinks earlier, I was having a virgin cocktail. I haven't drunk alcohol since I've been taking these, and I don't miss it. The benefit I get from these pills is way more important. So she's really serious about all of this.
I just really...
I do slip up and have a bad day sometimes, but it's nothing like what it used to be. Remember I told you that coming to the office has been my first proper full-time job? I nod silently, recalling the conversation.
Wow.
I could never hold a decent job down before. My depression was so bad that no one would really rely on me for anything. I missed shifts all the time and my performance was all over the place. I also carried on living with my parents way after becoming an adult because I didn't feel able to strike out on my own and support myself. I don't think they trusted me to be okay without them either.
Actually,
But thanks to all the help I've got from these mental health services, I've been able to start changing things for the better bit by bit. To be honest, I'd say it's transformed my life. And it's not just about medication. I feel like I'm becoming able to stop hating myself for my flaws. Instead, I try to value the good sides of myself and fight for what makes me happy. I've started being able to handle my moods better. I finally moved out for the first time to live with friends. I got a proper job that I'm actually doing okay at. If I hadn't taken action when I was at my lowest and embraced the help of those services, I wouldn't have managed any of that. I might not even be here right now. We might never have met. The atmosphere hangs heavily as we both silently acknowledge what that implies. I gaze at her features, still pretty but almost weathered with stress, and feel a new surge of admiration for her. She's so strong to have gotten through all that and to be living the way she is now. With how determined and efficient she is in the office and how bubbly she's been during our meetups, I never would have guessed that any of that had happened. She seems so vibrant and balanced. My heart clenches with affection for her. I wish we weren't in this stupid position I put us in so that I could hold her close to me. Brianna inhales a tired breath, speaking up again. So what I'm trying to say is, it's really important to recognize when you have a problem so that you could start improving the situation before it's too late. I'm sorry, Skull, but I genuinely think you've probably been traumatized by the things you've been through. Your parents will have started it with how they treated you after the divorce. It wasn't fair on you, and you'll have felt pretty unloved, right? You said so yourself. I know she's trying to help me, but my whole being is rejecting the idea of what she's saying. I've never considered myself in this way before, and my brain does not like it. I don't even know where to begin with that. My mind is... No, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. My thoughts are blurring into one big mass of confusion and fear.
Listen,
Skull, at least tell me this. Do you admit that you need help? Are you aware of the fact that the way you see things isn't right? The question seems to pierce me in a place I didn't know I had. I've never once thought that there was anything wrong with me, but now But it can't be. I open my mouth, but only random mumbles come out. I can't string a sentence together. I meet Brianna's eyes. She looks steadily at me with anticipation, but I feel as though I must be looking back at her with nothing but anxiety in my face. I have no answer for her.
How dare you?
Skull, you were literally going to hold me hostage against my will. It sounds so awful when she says it that plainly.
seriously?
If you were okay with that, then there's a problem, right? I want to reply calmly, but my mouth starts running at high speed, almost out of my control. You obviously think I'm just some freak that needs fixing, huh? That's your thing, isn't it? After my outburst stops, I purse my lips tightly in shame. I don't know where that came from. Brianna seems to read the regret on my face and doesn't rise to my taunting.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm going to be honest with you, Skull. You really, really kind of scare me right now after everything you did and everything you were planning to do. But at the end of the day, you're a human being. You're suffering just like I've suffered, like so many people do.
Actually,
You're not evil. You're just really fucking hurt. Everything you've done is a reaction to that. Despite how horrible you've been, you still deserve help. You still deserve the chance to improve yourself if you're willing to take it. She'd say that after everything I put her through and all the shit I've done to other people? Sinking down into the hard ground, I lower my head. I can't stand to look at her anymore. Everything feels too intense. I don't know what I deserve, but I don't think it's forgiveness or compassion. I hear her sigh once more as though she's exhaling years of pain. Then we just sit. Neither of us speaks for what feels like a long time. The sound of distant music and laughter waft over from back across town, but their joy is lost on us. Everything feels so disrupted. I'm not sure how much time passes. Eventually, Brianna shuffles in place, examining the handcuff that's restraining her. When she speaks, her voice is hoarse.
I just can't.
Would you please try to help me get this off? We can't stay here all night. I've fought so hard to trap her here, but I'm so full of confusion and sorrow now that I really don't care anymore. I promise I won't tell anyone what happened tonight. I won't call the police or anything. Just like Ash, way more forgiving than I would be. But with Brianna, it's because she deals with mental health patients, victims. She deals with people who have these kinds of problems, and I think she knows. Like she said, she completely understands exactly who the idiot is. So I think here it's just a tad more understandable. I look up again at last when she says this. That's true, Dim. Really? Well, it'll make things really... Worry floods into her expression, and I get what she's thinking. She's trying to avoid creating a storm at work.
Listen,
Look, if you swear to me that you'll do as I've done and get help for your trauma, if you work really hard to have a healthier perspective and stop doing things like this... She draws a ragged breath.
No.
Then I won't say anything. I could barely process what she's offering. Brianna, I tried to basically abduct you. I don't think that's really a fair trade-off when... Just take it! She cuts me off, her voice wavering emotionally.
Listen.
I know we've acted barbarically, but there's a good person underneath all that hurt. It has to be true. Despite everything you've done for me, you should probably still get a second chance to make it right. The words hit me squarely, and somehow I just want to burst into a waterfall of tears. My emotions are too complicated to figure out right now. So instead of trying, I simply nod. I probably don't deserve this, but if she wants to take it, I will. If she wants me to take it, I will. I reach for the handcuffs, and she joins me in trying to bend and break them. We struggle for a while longer. Then she has an idea to try to use the pin from the buckle of the gag as a makeshift key, like picking a lock. That came to mind a while ago. I was thinking about back in my mind. So, hey, paid off. Scooping the gag back up from the ground, we give it a try. After a few attempts, it actually works. The lock pops open and both cuffs springing from our sore wrists and dropping to the floor. Suddenly energized by our freedom, we stagger to our feet. For a few long seconds, we regard each other tensely, as though expecting the other to do something violent. However, the longer we both remain frozen in place, the clearer it becomes that neither of us wants to fight anymore. We just want it to be over. Poor Brianna. Brianna drops her guard slowly, relaxing her posture. I shamefully snatch up the handcuffs and gag laying on the ground, stuffing them into my pockets. So, we just... yeah. The moment becomes incredibly awkward. Let's just go back the way we came and not draw attention. Promise me you won't try anything again. The question makes my guilt weigh even heavier on me. I won't. I promise.
Oh.
All right. With stiff legs and uneasy expressions, we leave the alley behind. It feels completely bizarre to be walking by Brianna's side like this as though nothing happened. I think she just wants to secure her safety as quickly as possible, and I don't blame her. We tread cautiously through the tunnel. The city sounds grow louder as we go. Neither of us say a word, the atmosphere thick with nerves. When we finally reach the street we've been on before, it feels almost otherworldly, like we'd been in an alternate dimension all this time. I don't know how to go back to normal. We grind to a halt, glancing around at the partying drinkers who are enjoying their Saturday nights. They're totally oblivious to what almost happened right behind them. The both of us swivel to face each other, almost unable to make eye contact. There are so many things either of us could say right now, and yet it seems impossible to speak. Brianna raises her head, taking a big breath as though she's going to say something. Her eyes flick toward me, filled with whirling thoughts. Then she bites her lips, stays silent, and walks away. She zigzags through the bodies swiftly, leaving me behind without a backward glance. Once she's out of sight, I stand there for a moment, fixed in place. My head reels with the intensity of everything that's been done and said tonight. It's all too much to try to make sense of right now. So with a heavy heart, I turn away and stride off into the night. Dodged! Oh, wow, that was stressful. Oh boy. Oh, that was rough. Ah, man. This one just hurt so much more. Maybe it's because, you know, number 3 and I knew what to expect, so it was anticipation, but I think it's more just that Brianna's such a sweet soul, and to know that, like, she's struggled with depression her whole life, which it's a very real thing that a lot of people struggle with, and they usually hide it pretty well. I was just dreading this whole time, wondering what her secret was. Ash didn't really have a secret very much. It was just that they were non-binary, and it was a problem. Malik's secret was pretty dark. Brianna's secret is just depressing. Quite literally. It's just sad. Is this my longest stream yet? No, I've streamed for over 3 hours before. A while ago, but yeah. I'm glad Brianna was not hurt. You have no idea how glad I am that she was not hurt. Pardon. All aboard, everyone! Today we are going on a feels trip. Yeah. I've been going through a case of the feels through some of my writing today. I had to write a really intense chapter, and I guess maybe this has something to do with that, just combining with that. So, no Briannas were harmed in the making of the stream. We still got one choice left with consequences. I'm going to assume that every choice up until the last one actually is inconsequential. So, we're still 1 or 2 streams away from actually seeing if I can get a perfect route for Brianna or not. I guess we'll see. In the meantime, that was part 11, day 2 of the Brianna route of True Colors. I'll be back next Sunday where I'll be continuing. I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, man. And I'm just sad now. That could have ended a lot worse. We got the double dodge, and I should be happy about that, but I'm really not happy. This is just sad. This is making me feel a lot more feels than the other 2 routes, that's for sure. So yeah, maybe this is the one that I'd consider canon. Borealis, Dimlord, Andrea, Rotsathi, thanks for popping in. Shout out to the lurkers, and shout out to everyone watching on YouTube afterwards. Whew, I'll be back next Sunday. See you all then. On behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week. I was not broken, thankfully. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.